We have something very important to discuss today. Is Turnstile hardcore, or are they just hardcore posers? I wanted to do a candid reaction to Turnstile's music. So I'm gonna start by listening to something from Turnstile's latest record, which came out last year. The album is called Never Enough, and this is the song Birds, which actually won a Grammy a few months ago. So let's just get into it. Off the bat, we've got the ambient intro. I don't know, a little sus, but let's keep it going. Building up the tension. Wood block with reverb. There's the more wood block, I don't know. Kind of weird so far. I don't want to judge it too much though. Let's keep it playing. All right, I'm just gonna pause it. This song's 2.5 minutes long and we have an ambient intro that has lasted 30 seconds. How the hell did this win a Grammy? I'm gonna try to be unbiased. Let's keep listening.
I don't know, but I'm a man. There's a song playing this for me now. Right.
This would constitute as hardcore to me. It's fast, the vocals are yelled. It just has that typical hardcore punk sound. Let's keep this rolling, see what happens next. Groove section, all right. More synth. Again, just because a band has synth doesn't mean they're not hardcore. I actually love it when hardcore bands defy expectations like this. Let's keep going.
Finally, I can't see yet. These birds not meant to fly there.
I guess this would be the breakdown riff. So we have seen several features of melodic hardcore so far. We've got the speed, we have the urgency, we have the yelled vocals, and now we've got the breakdown riff. But honestly, this breakdown riff is a little stiff. It sounds super controlled tempo-wise. I can almost guarantee they recorded this with a metronome. There's nothing wrong with recording with a metronome, but this does kind of, to me, lack a little bit of the rawness that you want to hear in something considered hardcore. Let's see what happens though. So that's the end of the song Birds. I definitely don't hate this song, but it's just a little generic sounding. There's nothing about it that feels super aggressive or emotive. And again, the fact that it really feels locked in, like they recorded it super precisely with a metronome, just leaves a little bit to be desired. So anyways, I don't want to spend too much time dissecting what does or doesn't count as hardcore. I mainly just wanted to give you my candid reaction to this music. Okay, so now let's move back to their 2021 album Glow On, which I have not heard 1 second of. Doing some research, it seems like the song Holiday is really popular amongst fans. So let's give this one a spin and see if it has a little bit more OG hardcore cred than Birds. Another quiet intro. I like it when hardcore bands use dynamics, but this is a lot of dynamics so far. More weird percussive stuff in the intro. Gotta say, I'm not a big fan of that, but it doesn't bug the hell out of me. So let's just let it roll.
Now it's a holiday. Now it's a holiday.
All right, this has a little bit of bounce to it. I mean, I like the bounciness of this, but again, just like the other track, it feels super, super produced and just super locked into the click. I kind of wish they would let the rhythms breathe a little bit more. Let's keep it going though. Some two-stepping going. Melodic chorus, I think. All right, this sounds almost identical to the music that I heard on their most recent album, Never Enough. I've seen a lot of people saying that the older Turnstile stuff is more hardcore oriented, but you could put this on and I would literally just think it was from the new album. Let's scan through the rest of this song. Then melodic chorus again. Ambient interlude. This song's not very interesting. Got a little breakdown at the end of the song, but it just uses the same rhythmic structure as the riff that opened the song. So for the sake of comparison, and just to see how legitimate Turnstile's hardcore roots are, let's go back to their 2018 album. It's called Time and Space. This is the song Real Thing. I mean, this definitely has a little bit more of that 2010s hardcore vibe going on. But overall, I'm really not hearing a whole lot of a distinction between this and their most recent material. If you just played this song for me and told me that it was on their 2025 record, I would be like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's keep it rolling though to see if I'm missing anything. Still has that very metronomic, rhythmic feel. It's just a little too consistent for me. I want to hear a little bit more chaos, a little bit more push-pull from the drummer. They like their quiet interludes. I mean, I like a hardcore band that features dynamics. Nothing wrong with that. Back to the two-step riff. That ultra-produced melodic vocal there. Again, I like it when hardcore bands take chances, but it is just so like overly produced. It's so sugary sounding. I don't understand why that needs to be in there. Let's see if there are any nuggets on the rest of the song. There's 30 seconds left. Back to the chorus, slash the riff they opened the song with. There's that horrible melodic vocal again. And the last 15 seconds are just ambient fade out. So I guess this band likes their intros and outros. I mean, I like it when a punk band gets a little bit cinematic, but this is a little bit more than what I typically go for. So overall, I think I've come to a conclusion as to whether or not Turnstile is hardcore or if they're hardcore posers. I would say they more so fall into the latter category. I mean, the music's not terrible, but this just doesn't really scream hardcore to me. Even if you compare this to other super popular current hardcore bands, like Knocked Loose comes to mind, as produced as Knocked Loose is, there's still just this visceral energy to their music that makes you want to rip someone's head off. And in this, it's a lot of these eighth note riffs. I mean, I love classic hardcore riffs. It doesn't need to be anything super angular or experimental, but there's just not really anything beyond these kind of like groove riffs. I'm kind of disappointed because again, I've heard a lot about how Turnstile's old music is much more rooted in hardcore, but I am barely hearing any distinction from their 2018 record to the 2025 record. Maybe it's the song that I chose. If any Turnstile fans want to chime in the comments section, let me know if the songs that I picked are not super emblematic of hardcore and maybe if I should listen to something else instead. Bottom line though, if this band is going to be a gateway for young people to get into hardcore and other just interesting types of heavy music, I'm all for that. We can't always have the most interesting and cutting edge heavy bands winning Grammys. In fact, that pretty much never happens. So you kind of have to think of bands like this as a bridge for so many people to get into more interesting and authentic type stuff. Are there any bands that you want to see me do this for in the future? I'm all ears. Let me know.